What's good, YouTube? Sensational Sincere here, back with another Division Vendor Reset video this Friday. Let's get right into it and see what we got good. Okay, so for our first gear items, we're going to head over to Camp Hudson. And here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4% Seeker Mine damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to the base operations. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor have a Spec Ops mask with the talent Tenacious on it. The gear score is 270. The armor is 949. Its roll for firearms 1116, and it has exotic damage, resilience, and damage to elites. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations, and we're going to head over to the advanced weaponry vendor. And here they have a large suppressor FDE with 19% crit hit damage, 2.50% stability, and 4.50% optimal range. And for our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations, and I'm going to head over to the special equipment vendor here, and they have a Spec Ops armor chest piece with Reckless on it. Gear score is 266. The armor on it is 1761. This roll for stamina 1139. And the talents it has, or the attributes it has, is health on kill and exotic damage, resilience, and ammo capacity. And then also we got a okay pair of savage or gunslinger gloves with the talent savage on it. They're okay rolled, I guess. I mean, I would use this if I would use these if I just wanted some savage gloves for the moment. But the gear score on it is 270. The armor is 901. Roll for stamina 1130, and the attributes it has is pistol damage, crit hit damage, and the health on kill. And I would definitely get rid of that pistol damage and probably put crit hit chance or crit hit damage. And then also we have a prototype performance mod with 3.50% turret damage. And then also we have a Omega rifle suppressor tan. Those guys that are good at them headshots. The Omega Rifle Suppressor has 17% headshot damage, 4% crit hit damage, and 2% accuracy. Okay, so for our next gear items, we're going to head over to Camp Clinton. And here, the special equipment vendor has a operator mask with the talent Tenacious on it. The gear score is 274. The armor is 952. Roll for stamina 1222, and the attributes it has is critical hit chance and burn resistance. And then also here we have a gunslinger vest with the talent vigorous on it. The gear score is 265. The armor is 1707. Its roll for firearms 1167, and the attributes it has is health on kill, skill haste, and increased kill XP. And then also we have a prototype performance mod with 3.50% sticky bomb damage. And then also we got a reflex sight here with 7% crit hit chance, 2.50% stability, and 6% headshot damage. Okay, so for our next gear items, we're gonna head over to Dante's Run. And here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod for those pulse builds. With 2% post crit hit damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to Wolves Den. And here, the weapons vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 12% magazine size, 2.50% crit hit chance, and 10.40% rate of fire. I'm mentioning this because, in my other vendor reset videos, if I was to run a mag like this, it would be for a pred build, and if I ran pred, I would be using it to put the bleed on somebody really quick. So if you haven't tried it, check it out, see if you like it if you run pred. Okay, so for our next gear items, we're going to head over to Madison stand. And here, the gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent Tenacious on it. The gear score is 274. The armor is 913. Roll for electronics 1254. And the attributes it has is skill power and increased kill XP. And then also we have a prototype stamina mod with 261 stamina and 3% skill haste. So for our next gear items, we're going to head over to the last call. And here the weapons vendor has a nice extended magazine with 114 magazine size, 4% crit hit damage, and 2.50% crit hit chance. Okay, so for our next gear items, we're gonna head over to the South Paw. And here the gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent refreshed on it. Gear score is 265, the armor is 928, its roll for electronics 1118, and the talents it has is skill power and burn resistance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 31st Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 266 firearms and 2.50% exotic damage resilience. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 39th Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops pack with talent specialized on it. Gear score is 260, the armor is 1157, its roll for electronics 1146, and the attributes it has is health and disrupt resistance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 42nd Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a Omega rifle suppressor with 18% headshot damage, 4.50% optimal range, and 2.50% stability for those guys that are good at landing headshots. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 53rd Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone vendor has an operator vest with the talent Vigorous on it. Gear score is 265, the armor is 1723, its roll for electronics 1180, and it has skill haste, health on kill, and ammo capacity. And then also we have a prototype performance mod for those guys that like to run turrets with 7.50% turret duration. Okay, so for our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 61st Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a Tyrant suppressor with 7.50% crit hit chance, 4.50% optimal range, and 4% crit hit damage. And for our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 58th Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops armor chest piece with the talent Reckless on it. Gear score is 275, the armor is 1913, its roll for stamina 1230, and the attributes it has is skill haste, all resistance, and increased kill XP. Okay, so for our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 46th Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 265 stamina and 1% crit hit chance. And then also we got a small grip with 18% crit hit damage, 5% optimal range, and 4.50% reload speed. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 42nd Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops armor chest piece with the talent Vigorous on it. Gear score is 270, the armor is 1750, its roll for firearms 1205, and the attributes it has is all resistance, health, and ammo capacity. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 31st Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. And here the Dark Zone vendor has an operator pack with the talent Inventive on it. Gear score is 264, the armor is 1172, its roll for electronics 1133, and the attributes it has is health and bleed resistance. And then also we got a Tyrant suppressor with 7.50% crit hit chance, 2.50% stability, and 4% crit hit damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ2 safe room. And here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a gunslinger vest with the talent Rapid on it. The gear score is 273, the armor is 1809. Its roll for electronics 1246, and the attributes it has is enemy armor damage, health, and ammo capacity. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ4 safe room. And here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 6% first aid self heal. Okay, so for our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ5 safe room. And here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a SR7 suppressor with 19% crit hit damage, 2% accuracy, and 5.50% optimal range. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ8 safe room. In here, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent refreshed on it. The gear score is 279. The armor is 992. Roll for electronics 1165. And the attributes it has is all resistance and increased kill XP. Also, we have a gunslinger vest with the talent reckless on it. The gear score is 276. The armor is 1852. Its roll for stamina 1261. And its attributes is enemy armor damage, health on kill, and increased kill XP. And also we have a tactical pack with the talent inventive on it. The gear score is 274. The armor is 1318. Its roll for stamina 1140. And the attributes are stability and bleed resistance. Okay, and for our last gear items, we're going to head over to DZ9 safe room. And in here, the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has an extended magazine with 109.50% magazine size, 4% crit hit damage, and 5.10% rate of fire.
Oh, you'll be back.
That's pretty much it for this vendor reset video. Everybody who tuned in, thank you very much. All the comments, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys let me know.
Don't just stand there.
That you're glad somebody's doing this again. Thank you. And I want to mention also, don't forget to check me out on Twitch. I stream on Twitch under the same name, Sensational Sincere. And I will see y'all with the next video. I'll let y'all take care. Peace.